Hi, it's Nancy welcoming you to Garden Scroll.
This was looking so good just last night. This end was filled out just like this other end. The whole thing looked good, and now a bare spot where a snail most likely has eaten all night long, gorged himself on my plants. Did I say I hate those things? It's September the 1st, and the hope of fall is all over the garden, but actually summer is still in the garden, and I have been not feeling so great, and I thought I might do like a post about bipolar, because sometimes a person can feel like that, because on the one hand, I don't feel well. I'm so tired of all this. I just about want to give up and let it all go. But on the other hand, it would definitely be harder to take it out now than it would be to take care of it. And besides, to take it out now when cooler weather is coming, hopefully we'll have some nice cool fall weather before winter sets in and kills all this. But a few days just to enjoy the fruits of our labor would be a wonderful, wonderful thing. So I'm holding on, and honestly, if you just could look at the glass half full instead of half empty like I've been doing. But in my behalf, I have had a tonsil that's given me problems, and actually it has tonsil stones, which is really not any fun. It's nothing major, but it's certainly not fun. And it's a semi-sore throat, not really sore, but sore enough to just feel miserable, and then for it to last for over 2 weeks. I was just about ready to give in to despair, I guess. But I know better than that, and no one should ever quit anything when they're down or sick, because you're not thinking straight then. So we should always look to a better time. And then if we feel like giving up, then I guess, well, not giving up, but giving up on a certain thing and starting something new. But I hope to actually carry on the garden many more years, and I hope to see this beautiful passion vine bloom. And there's still, at least I would say 2 good months left to just enjoy the garden as soon as the weather gets nice enough that we can enjoy it. When the heat is bearing down in the garden, it's hard to enjoy anything, and then when you don't feel well on top of it, and you're just tired of it, you don't get a day off from watering, except for when God waters for us, and we do get a day off then. But other than that, not even the weekends are off. You're still working that garden. But not to say that none of it is enjoyable, because it certainly is. Let me turn this around a little bit. Because it's very enjoyable. Those new blooms, all the wonderful things. This little zinnia has been beautiful. It's just a plain little yellow zinnia, but somehow that perfect little shape, and just there on that corner part of this little pot with the celosia behind it. There's so many so many beautiful things out here that you can't help but enjoy it a bit, even while the sweat is rolling down your neck, because that's exactly what is happening. So, but there is a hope of a better day. There's always the hope of a better day. And if we're able to keep this going, when that better day comes, we'll have all this to enjoy. Not only will we have just a beautiful day, but we'll have something beautiful, a beautiful reason to come out to nature, into the garden, and see all the beauty of nature. But this time of year can definitely make you feel way down one day and way up the next day, depending on the weather and maybe if there's a new bloom in sight. I've been getting some plants for my friend at the diner. She has a yellow and pink garden, and when I was looking through the catalogs, I was somehow thinking of her, and I thought, I could get her a lot of yellow and pink things from my garden. So that's what this is about. These are daylilies in various shades of pink and or yellow. And then this one is a phlox, but it did not go ahead and build a root, so I'm going to dig her up a root for this one. Now this one behind it is a yarrow, and I think it is building a root, or else there wouldn't be this green left on it. So this one will probably be okay to take to her, and I'm waiting a little bit. Now this one right here is a beautiful peony. I know it won't look beautiful for a while, and most likely even when she plants it, even though it has a good sized root on it, even when she plants it, oftentimes it takes perennials 3, and some of mine have taken 4 years to really just come on and fill out and establish themselves, and then start putting on that beautiful bloom. But the peonies are so wonderful, so big, so beautiful, so eye-catching. Of course they don't last long enough, but that joy of having one in your garden lasts forever, because it'll be there next year to greet you if a vole or a mole doesn't take it out, which that's another thing I'm not fond of in the least. So, but I hope she someday gets to see this in full bloom, because it's a beautiful pink peony with the outside petals are just flat, but the inside petals make a little pom-pom right in the center, and it's just gorgeous. So not only does it mean gathering in divisions to give to someone if you want to, and then just gathering in seeds. That's another thing I need to do, because I have several of my zinnias that are fading. Their bloom is faded. Let me see if I can find you one I'm looking at here. Several of these, even this one right behind that one is still pretty fresh, but the one behind it there is faded, and I could use it for seed. And I definitely need to clip it off, because if you clip the old ones off, lots of times it will put on a new bloom. And these little yellow ones here, I love these shorter zinnias for containers, but as you can see, some of them are spent. They need to be taken off, and I will save seeds from these because I just use them each year for my containers, and I just love zinnias. Lots of reasons, just because they're beautiful, and because the insects love them, and because my dad actually bought us some when we were girls, and it was a rarity for us to get a flower, to get to have money to spend on anything frivolous. Oh, look at this. Look, I've been waiting for this little plumeria to put on some leaves. It's just been standing there, but oh my goodness, it took a leap. It took a little leap, and you can tell now that it is going to be it's going to have leaves not very long from now. Already it does. They just haven't opened fully yet. So thank you again, Dee Dee, for giving me this plant. And that's the kind of happiness you still find in the garden. So even when the days are still hot and hard to handle, if you can handle the heat, there's a lot of beauty in the garden. This is an Acellumaria. It's something new for my garden this year, and I love it. I hope it will live there and come back every year. That would be wonderful. And this is my Terenia, and isn't it beautiful? I would have to say that the darker kind of a navy blue one that I had just behind this in the same pot did not make it, and these rarely make it for me. I don't know if it's because the snails and roly-polies do them like they do my impatiens and take them out, but I just have to keep an eye on them all the time, and sometimes I don't catch it soon enough before it takes them out, especially when they're first put in the spring. But I am so happy that this little plant just went ahead and kept going and thriving and looking beautiful all season, as far as up to now anyway, and this is getting late in the season. So it's pretty easy to go to, oh my, I can't do it anymore, to, oh, I just can't wait to get this new flower. I've been looking through the catalogs already, the fall catalogs, and I kind of want to try some tulips, but I've tried every which way to do those tulips without the voles destroying them for me, and so far I have not come up with anything. I'm actually thinking about trying to put some in pots and just leave the whole pot out so it can have its cold period, and then maybe in the spring, after they finish their bloom, maybe I can just put those pots in a corner nook somewhere and just wait until the whole season is up and then winter has passed, and see if they will start again for me. And I'm going to go over here and go on the other side of this, because there's a little bloom right here I think we'll want to look at. But on my way over, I was also going to show you that here is a spent bloom, here is a spent bloom, and I will want to get those and save them for seed for next year. So here we are on the other side of where we were just a little bit ago, and this is the bloom I wanted to show you. My sister loved hers this year. It bloomed so many blooms for her, and I had given it to her, and it took it a while. It's just a little start from this one. It took it a while to get big enough to bloom, but this year it did it, and she was as proud of it as I knew she would be once it finally got there. I don't know if this is going to show the color as beautiful as it is here, but this is just a beautiful blend of different colors on this, or the same color but a different shade in this beautiful little zinnia. And you can tell the butterflies are certainly enjoying it too. Soon they'll be all over this sedum once it opens fully up and starts to bloom. They love this little plant. I was hoping that this little pot full of bush morning glory would just bloom all at once. So far it hasn't, but can you imagine if it did? All these beautiful bright colored blooms just in a mass in this pot. Wouldn't that be something? The marigolds are also blooming here and there now too. They always looks sunny and bright, and I even love the scent of the marigolds. And this is the month I'm taking in my house plants. I'm not going to do it this year. Every year I leave them out too long and they get at least one night a little too cold, and they don't have a good chance of making it through in my house through the winter. So I don't know if that will make any difference, but I know I'm going to give it a try finally. I say that every year and I don't, but because the weather stays beautiful and then all of a sudden it gets too cold. So but I'm hoping that I manage to get them in and that it will make a difference. I don't know if I can save these little begonias, but maybe I can save the tubers and have them come up again next year, which I'm not that great at doing either, but I'm certainly willing to try rather than just to let them die without even trying. My pretty zigzag plant is just now putting on its leaves. I don't know why it took it so long this year, because last year, I don't know if you remember, but oh my goodness, this thing was so full of leaves that I just had to take half of it or more off of it before I could bring it in my little house. So, and it does still have some yellowing leaves on there, but my goodness, the pretty green healthy leaves are coming on so wonderfully now. I'm so proud that they are. But I think it's time for me to go inside and get some of this sweat off, get under the fan somewhere where it can blow dry me.
Please be sure to like and subscribe to the channel.